Next on Worcester News Tonight, business owners in the Canal District react to the city trying to acquire their land. Plus, one person is dead after a car and shed go up in flames. The latest details in the investigation. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. The City of Worcester has begun appraising the properties they need in order to construct Polar Park. The Worcester Redevelopment Authority approved an amendment Tuesday which will allow them to acquire the 7 properties they need to move forward. But for one local business owner, the process of welcoming the Paw Sox to Worcester has been moving too fast. Our Cam Jandro joins us now live with more. Cam?
Yeah, Anna, Paul Harrington says seeing the Paw Sox come to Worcester has been bittersweet because his business is going to be demolished when the Paw Sox do decide to build Polar Park. And with that taking another step forward today, he says he's just not sure about his future.
The Worcester Regional Development Authority is looking to expand the boundaries of their downtown urban revitalization plan.
And it's to promote renewed economic activity in certain properties that we felt weren't being invested in, have been sitting there. The Wyman Gordon properties are the prime example.
Thursday, the WRA unanimously approved an amendment to the plan, which allows them to acquire 7 properties through an agreement or eminent domain.
We've had our team out there to explain the process to the property owners. The properties on Madison Street and the corner of Madison and Washington, we've had the appraisers out there once already.
Paul's Auto Glass has been on Madison Street for more than 20 years. Once excited about having a pro baseball team in his neighborhood, owner Paul Harrington now has mixed feelings about the Worcester Red Sox.
I thought, this coming here was great, and I guess I didn't see that I would be on the other side of it at one point.
Harrington's building was one of the first to be appraised, but says he hasn't received an offer. With less than a year until a ballpark groundbreaking, there's uncertainty surrounding his business.
They ran around and measured and took pictures, and they said they'd get back to me in whether a month or two, they didn't know for sure. How do I go shopping for another property when I don't even know how much money I'm going to get?
Harrington is looking for a new location. The city hopes to keep the businesses being forced to move in Worcester.
We're trying to work with them as much as possible to get them in a good place, just not in the footprint of the ballpark.
But moving away from the Kelly Square traffic makes Harrington less optimistic about his future.
It used to be just in front of the shop, and now it goes all the way under the bridge. And I'm going to try to find a location like that. How do you reimburse me for that?
Now, the amendment will go in front of the planning board tomorrow and then a public hearing on December 18th. Harrington says when everything is said and done, he hopes he's still doing auto glass here in the city of Worcester. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. Stocks fell sharply Tuesday in one of its largest declines of 2018. At its low of the day, the Dow had fallen more than 800 points. Certified financial planner Richard Carr says it's probably the result of what was originally thought to be good news about trade talks with China. He says for most people who balance their portfolio, the Dow's drop won't have a material effect on them.
It is dramatic, but it's not like we haven't had dramatic days in the positive side as well. So most folks won't be affected too dramatically. Again, those who have already balanced their portfolio will see a much more muted effect on the bottom line.
Carr says days like today are a good reminder a balanced and diversified portfolio are the best protection for people's investments. City Manager Edward Augustus weighing in on the police department's use of body cameras as the city and police union reach a contract agreement, including a framework for a body camera pilot program. Augustus says in the beginning of next year, they'll launch the pilot program for a group of police officers from different divisions. He says it will give them a chance to test them out as police work to perfect their policy and how to roll out cameras for the entire department. Augustus says they'll work to figure out the logistics, including the cost of buying cameras and the storage of the video generated by them.
It's a big issue if you think about hundreds of police officers working, 24 hours, 365 days a year. It generates a lot of film. And we have to really keep it 3 years because that's the window of time somebody may make a suit against the city of Worcester, and you would want to have that information available to us in dealing with that. So those are the kind of logistical issues and quite honestly cost issues that will need to be sorted out as part of the pilot program.
Earlier today, our Brittany Schaefer spoke with police and city councilors on the matter and has more.
City Councilor Christian King is ready to see body cameras on Worcester police officers.
I'd like to see it go into effect, in short order.
King recently filed an order requesting the city to provide an update to the program. He says it's been in the talks for years and something he's brought up during city council meetings.
I'm an advocate for, transparency and accountability on all levels, and I also think it can certainly enhance community relations, and I also think that it's a tool that can be used for training purposes, and I think from a community perspective, it opens up the window into what actually happens during an engagement.
According to Worcester Police, a pilot program will be happening as soon as possible. Lieutenant Sean Murtha says 20 officers in different divisions of the department would wear the cameras.
We're going to use our experience with the pilot program and see how it works and adjust that going forward. We wanted to minimize the issues that come with something like this, and it's an incredibly complicated undertaking.
A multi-year contract for the department includes the framework for the pilot program. King says police and the city still have to work out small details.
We need to begin to prepare for funding. What is it going to take in terms of the budget from the city council perspective? There needs to be some perhaps public input as the process moves forward.
In addition to the pilot program, the contract also lays out a 2% annual increase for the Worcester Police Department. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Now to developing news in Dudley. A search for answers after several fires were started this morning and a man was found dead. It's unclear at this time what exactly happened, but we do know the homeowner is known to police. Our Rosalind Flaherty has more on the investigation.
Investigators on scene in a Dudley neighborhood where a man is found dead. Emergency crews responded here for a series of fires started in vehicles, a shed, and a home.
Initially, it was only the 2 vehicles that were on fire, so that was what we were concentrating on at the time. The house was then discovered to be on fire.
The state fire marshal's office says the man who died is believed to have started the fires at the home on Dudley Oxford Road around 7 a.m. this morning.
One person in the home at this time. I'm not sure who else lived here.
The man has not yet been identified but is known to police. According to court documents, James Soares owns the home. In June of 2018, his wife filed a restraining order against him after Soares was allegedly aggressive towards her. Court documents state he threatened to set her checkbook on fire. The restraining order expired in July. According to James's attorney, he was supposed to be in court this morning at 8:30 for a divorce hearing, but never showed up. Dudley police wouldn't confirm if James Soares was the man found inside the home. Firefighters were able to knock down all the fires quickly.
It took us about 20 minutes to bring everything under control.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
A late morning fire in Webster leaves multiple families without a home Tuesday. The incident happened around 11 o'clock this morning. According to the landlord of the apartment units on Market Street, the building needs minor repairs, which will take a couple of days. He says an old alarm clock may be to blame for starting the fire. Everyone made it out safely. The exact cause is still under investigation. State police are trying to figure out what led up to the death of a Millbury teenager. They say his body was found in the home after it caught on fire over the weekend. The flames broke out on Stone Road Saturday night. Investigators say the body of the boy who lived in the home was found in the rubble. Millbury Fire Chief Richard Hamilton says 3 other people escaped, but one of them was burnt while trying to put out the flames.
The father tried to put the fire out with a fire extinguisher, and he got burnt in some smoke inhalation. So he was transported, the brother was transported, and then the mother was transported, maybe because of the stress of the whole situation.
Hamilton says the home is uninhabitable with heavy smoke damage. The cause of the fire is under investigation. We now know the identity of a West Boylston man who died in a single car crash Monday. Sterling police say 27-year-old Michael Frangillo was identified as the victim. His car was found overturned around 7:30 yesterday morning in the woods off Route 110. Investigators say it appeared his car struck a guardrail and Frangillo was ejected from the car. The cause of the crash is under investigation.